Since the dawn of time, 1936 to be precise, the United States has had a chokehold on international basketball. 1936 was the inaugural year of basketball at the Summer Olympics, opening the world to the game. And since then, international basketball has flourished exponentially, to a point now that the 3 undisputed best basketball players on the planet currently are all non-American, an American sport created by a Canadian, dominated by internationals. But the rest of the world still has a lot of catching up to do before they can overtake the land of fighter jets. I mean, the United States has won gold at the Olympics 16 out of 20 times. Throughout history, no Olympic sport has had such a foregone conclusion like the United States winning gold in men's and women's basketball. Now that could be said about the United States and the Olympics in general, since their only historic competitor has been out of commission since the 90s. But everything is subject to change. The growth of the game directly aligns with the presence of international talent at the top of the mountain. That sentiment certainly rings true in regards to the FIBA World Cup. Shall we reminisce about the 2019 USA men's team who were led by Kemba Walker and sophomore Donovan Mitchell? They had Boston's duo on the roster, but in 2019 they were not the caliber of players they are today. So the third star on this stacked USA team was Mavericks legend Harrison Barnes. I'm kidding, obviously, this team was trash. This is the end result after all your major players reject your mailing order about playing in the FIBA games. Because if it isn't the Olympics, the USA's finest aren't showing up. I mean, sometimes the Olympics don't even guarantee that. But let's move on to the current day and analyze this 2023 USA men's team. Now I'll be honest, this team is definitely a step up from the one 4 years ago. We have some notable names in red, white, and blue. Overall, there's definitely been a conscious effort to bring in more playmakers and well-rounded players over specialists. The biggest weakness of the 2019 squad was that it had no playmakers. Kemba Walker in his prime was a phenomenal guard, but he wasn't a traditional point who was known for his ability to distribute. Walker was a flamethrower, which is valuable in its own right, but not when he's also the only elite live ball threat on the floor. I must reiterate, Tatum, Brown, and Mitchell had not blossomed yet into their All-NBA forms. If you ran it back with this squad today, those 3 would give the USA an advantage over everyone. I'm really excited about this squad because of the webbing. This group has given us an assortment of guys who extraordinarily possess that dog. There isn't a more eloquent term to describe it. Anthony Edwards guarantees that level of play on any team he's on. That's why he's box office. Edwards could pass off as MJ's unclaimed heir alongside Jimmy Butler. Coming off his first All-Star season and a great playoff debut, I think he's ready for the stage to take the Ant-Man tour worldwide. And I don't think it's happenstance that Coach Eric Spoelstra watched Jalen Brunson courtside when he played Spo's Miami Heat in the playoffs and then decided to bring him on. Brunson has answered plenty of questions this season and has muffled all the complaints directed towards the New York Knicks for seemingly at the time overpaying a guy who'd only had one good playoff run. But if he maintains this level of play, that contract will be the biggest steal on the market. Brunson's teammate Josh Hart tagged along and he was killing it on the glass for the Miami series. These New York boys are ferocious. And Coach Spo liked the New York guys so much, he decided to tag the Brooklyn ones as well. Mikal Bridges, since being traded to the Nets, has shown his true potential that lay dormant in Phoenix. He finished the year averaging 26 points per game as the lead act in Brooklyn. And going into the 2023-24 season, he's the favorite to win Most Improved Player. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and that title comes with prestige. Every basketball coach's dream is a big guy who shuts down the block and can step out the pond and knock down a jump shot. Having played against Anthony Davis for a full playoff series and experienced what that environment is like, Triple J needs to seize the opportunity playing alongside such talents and elevate his game even further, specifically on the offensive end, where he's shown in spurts that he's capable of putting up points on the board. His growth would surely benefit a young, hungry Memphis team who are looking to redeem themselves and earn their seat at the table of contenders after a chaotic and disappointing season ending. Tyrese Haliburton is everyone's favorite point guard. Why? Because he is a point guard. The Magic Johnson comp is like the standard for any point guard over 6'4" that knows how to throw a no-look pass. Tyrese Haliburton doesn't possess the similarities to Magic in his game, other than his decision-making on the break, which is Magic-esque. The comparison is very surface level. Haliburton's passes are remarkably similar to Jason Kidd's. The steady supply of no-looks and quick-draw lasers across the court are trademark Kidd, and if you watch him maneuver, he's like a shorter, less aggressive, but better shooting version of Penny Hardaway. And Penny Hardaway was supposed to be the successor to Magic. So maybe Hallie is the next Magic Johnson. Baby Kevin Durant is a fitting name for Duke forward Brandon Ingram, because he plays just like him, and he's been on fire since he transformed his appearance into that of a wise old traveler, or a homeless man depending on how you grade his cut. I personally like the look because nothing is more dangerous than a man whose sole intention is to go out and hoop, nothing more. Let's not forget what bubble Jimmy Butler was doing when he let it all grow out. Since February, shortly after returning from injury, Ingram went full 007 and started Xing his hit list. 28 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 6.5 assists per game on 50% from the field, 30% from 3, and 88 from the free throw. And he finished the year averaging 28, 7, and 8 for the month of April, with a cool 40-piece to conclude the season. Those are all NBA numbers. Look out for Brandon Ingram. He's taking that next step, and as it appears, Zion Williamson will return next season, so the Pelicans are a sleeper high seed. Let's not forget they topped the standings when their guys were healthy. Imagine the force Zion Williamson and a perfected version of Brandon Ingram could generate. That's a lethal dosage of buckets. Paolo Bankero has a bounty on his head, courtesy of the nation of Italy. To piss off an entire country is a challenge, especially when you trace your heritage back to said country, but that's the exact situation Bankero has found himself in. I'm quoting the president of the Italian Basketball Federation, Gianni Petrucci. Betrayal, especially in basketball, is a strong word, but he fooled us. Whoa, a proclamation of treachery aimed at a man who can't even legally drink. What spurred this kind of statement with such viscosity to it? Well, Bankero baited them. A year prior, Bankero was fully committed to playing for the Italian national team, but when Uncle Sam started calling, he couldn't deny it. So he accepted the offer to play for Team USA, as Petrucci says, and ghosted the Italian team. That's one way to get a country on your bad side. Regardless, Bankero is coming off an electric rookie season averaging 20 points per game, and with such an awesome first year, it's surprising he's not receiving more attention, but his performance on a world stage may turn some heads towards his direction. The Orlando Magic have seemingly found their franchise man. The rest of the squad includes Walker Kessler, Jazz rookie who had a great season on the defensive end, Cam Johnson, the other Brooklyn net, who's a tall catch-and-shoot player, and he was a 6th Man of the Year candidate in Phoenix. Can't hurt to have him available. Another 6th Man of the Year candidate is Bobby Portis of the Milwaukee Bucks. And last but not least, Lakers fans can rejoice. The coaching staff, which includes top 75 coaches Steve Kerr and the aforementioned Eric Spoelstra, along with Clippers head coach Tyronn Lue and Grant Hill, see what Lakers fans have been exclaiming about Austin Reeves. Reeves signed a 4-year, $53 million contract with the Lakers, a much-deserved sum after a second year that saw him display tremendous growth and doubled his production output. And he finished the year with an amazing playoff debut, averaging 21 points per game in his first conference finals against the future NBA champs. And that's the USA roster, barring no unfortunate circumstances. When you analyze the team, breaching the surface of a lack of superstar power, you're presented with a very versatile group who are coachable, which is why the skeleton of this team is so deadly. It's an actual team, not a medley of stars. There's 5 exhibition games scheduled before official game day. As of writing this, the USA has played their first 2 exhibition games. First against Puerto Rico, they dominated, and followed the second game against Slovenia with another commanding victory. However, Luka Doncic did not appear in the game with a precautionary absence. This USA roster is a sleeper, and they'll prove to the unfaithful why the United States are the top dogs. But don't sleep, because the mightiest of Titans always fall to their biggest obstacle: derogation. Underestimate Serbia, Australia, France, the reigning world champion Spain, and you'll witness a disheartening reality. The rest of the world has practically caught up. If the USA doesn't take it seriously, they'll fall as quick as you'd snap your fingers. But this American squad has a hopeful makeup. The team on paper should flourish. There is no real superpower, no disrespect to Anthony Edwards, because he is deserving of the superstar title. These guys mesh well, and there is tangible doubt beyond mere speculation that the United States will not win this World Cup, so they're not the golden favorites anymore. The opposition is formidable and none will be taken lightly. The USA dodged a nuclear attack now that there's confirmation Giannis' health will block him from playing for Greece. So if this team plays the way they have, it'll be another trophy to squeeze into America's overflowing cabinet. Thanks for watching.